need to first remind you that for everything we do, we gear ourselves towards accelerating global development. And in the next 2 minutes, I will show you how we are unearthing the potential of earthworms to do exactly that. These are the team members, and I'm sure most of you are asking yourselves, are earthworms a benefit or a problem to our communities? Agriculture employs a very large number of people, as we may all know. These are close to 80%. And one would think that with agriculture employing all these people, then these people must be self-sufficient in terms of hunger and employment. But where agriculture employs more people, you find that more people are suffering from hunger. The only reason for that is there are farm inefficiencies in what they are doing that are leading to either low produce that is produced, or that the business that they are doing is not doing enough to generate income to sustain their livelihoods. Poultry is one of the agriculture enterprises that are taken up by farmers. It's because it's easily credited by financial institutions, because it's one of the enterprises where it's easy to draw a business model, unlike crop production where there are a lot of risks associated. And in fact, very many people are taking it up as a form of agricultural enterprise to undertake. But there is a problem, the cost of feeds that is driving people out of poverty. So people like Yunus are getting out of business on one of the projects that would have improved their livelihoods. The feeds are 80% of the production costs, and not 50% of that production cost of the feeds is actually protein sources. The commonly used protein sources are fish meal. They are expensive in terms of obtaining them, and during the process they are adulterated. So on the cost of production, you're also paying for the adulterated cost, which reduces your inefficiency and therefore driving you out. The other alternative ends up in the supermarket, which is the soybean, to be consumed by people. So farmers are left with no choice. Therefore, this project is looking for another non-conventional feed resource other than the mukene and the soybean as a protein content for farmers if they are to remain in business. This is the production unit which we are optimizing for domesticating earthworm production. It uses low-cost materials, and all you need are organic material or crop byproducts or municipal waste to produce these earthworms in large quantities. Then later on, these earthworms are solar dried, and they are hammer milled into a protein content which is comparable to fish meal in terms of when mixed in feed ingredients. So here I'm talking about reducing the cost of production by close to 50% when it replaces the fish meal in livestock diets. However, we are dwelling around optimizing the production because we need them in large quantities to provide the dry matter, the technology which is currently not available that we are undertaking. In addition, that production unit produces the nutrient-rich vermicompost, much more richer than the organic matter which is got from livestock cattle manure, because this one contains additional beneficiaries that are produced by the earthworms during the process of breaking down this composite. So it is an added value to the farmers. So we are basically turning trash into cash. You can imagine what the farmers will gain after that. Our business model is selling the nutrient-rich earthworm meal, which we shall mix in livestock ingredients to replace the earthworm meal. We are already in touch with 50 agro-input dealers who are currently handling about 1 ton of feed per month. And we are offering them a cheaper alternative, and therefore they will get more people to buy their ingredients. We are already in touch with 500 farmers who can consume 500 kilograms or half a ton of earthworm meal per month. And then, in terms of the vermicompost, the National Organic Movement of Uganda is marketing the branded nutrient-rich vermicompost to the farmers who are registered under their organization. We basically need a unit process, a watering unit, a dryer, grinder, mixer, and pellet binder if we are to do this, and of course the community engagement to market our product. We need about $300,000 to set up the watering unit and the whole system, which we have currently optimized. And with great pressure to Resilient Africa Network, which has offered 10% of the production unit, so that we can go ahead and optimize the unit before we take it to the communities. Thank you very much. Yes, please.
My issue is about scalability. how quickly or how easily it can be replicated, because the volumes required for the fitness industry are huge. My neighbor is asking how many earthworms can you make? So please elaborate more on how easily this can be rolled out to really have impact. Thank you.
I think tied into that question is what grammage or how many kilos do I need to produce half a kilo of processed earthworm? Dried. Okay, not other byproducts.
Earthworm meal.
Yeah, earthworm meal. How many kilos do I need, and what duration does it take to get to maturity for production? Yeah.
This is an observation I've made, not only coming from your presentation, but even from the previous presenters. The ideas are good, the projects sound really good, but the amounts of money needed to start are very high. I'm just wondering, is it possible for you to think about starting this with minimum, like much less than what you mentioned? Because when you describe it, it sounded pretty, not that complicated. So this goes to all the other previous presenters. Why don't we think about starting small and then growing as things evolve? Thank you.
There is the question of producing the earthworm meal itself, but there is a complicated supply and distribution chain that you're managing in order to get the raw material in terms of the garbage, etc., the substrate that you're growing the earthworm in, and getting it all the way to the farmers who will want it. You shed some light on your thinking around that.
Can I take those? I'll forget. If I can begin very fast with that one, in terms of substrates, these substrates were got from a thorough needs finding, and these are materials readily available to the farmers. So they were asking us, if I have this material around me, most of these farmers are agricultural farmers, and these earthworms are decomposers. They decompose any material that is readily available to the farmers, be it the manure or the crop residues. This is what they decompose. So the innovation is around optimizing the unit, and I go to the question of how much to produce. You need to optimize that unit so that you produce what is enough. This project, in the slide I demonstrated a low-cost production unit where you put pieces of timber and then you produce the unit. But it's a whole range depending on your scale of production. So somebody like Yugachik will not use this production unit. He will need to scale up the unit, and that's where the cost comes in. If you want to produce a bigger unit, then you're setting up a feed processing plant, but using a very cheap material, so that you cater for the large-scale farmers. But it can be as cheap as that I demonstrated, depending on your scale of production in terms of poultry production. So you can set up any scale. All you need is to find out what size of the unit produces your, for your scale of production in terms of the poultry enterprise. So I think I combined the question. That's why we have the 300,000. But it doesn't go to that if you're on small scale. You can go for the low-cost production unit so that you produce what is enough. The beauty here is you're reducing your cost of production by 50%. You're replacing fish meal, and the technology is easily done at home. You're producing your protein source for yourself. Yes, please.
So then, are you selling the earthworm meal, or is the farmer selling the earthworm meal? Like, if the farmer is the one who's producing, what are you selling?
It's both. For the farmer who is selling, he needs our service in terms of consultancy, because we know how much to fix in their ingredients and how to train them to produce more. But we are also producing it because not many people will set up a large unit to produce enough masses for them. So for us, we set it up, but provide it very cheaply to the farmers. So it's both ways.
Okay, so